Hello, welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're a subscriber. In this video we're going to be looking at some of my boat building plan sets and going over the latest revisions that I've done to those. I've made a few changes which mean they're not so reliant on CNC cutting anymore, so they're a bit more obtainable for a wider audience of people. We're also going to be taking a look at some of the new designs that I've been working on. So there's currently 4 completely new boats underway, and we're going to have a little look into some of those. First of all, let's take a look at the latest plan set revisions. So the most major change to all of my plan sets is in the file export stage. If you've seen any of my other plan tour videos, you'll know that most of the parts are provided in nested DXF files. All of my boats have been designed with CNC cutting in mind, but this most recent change means that the parts can also be cut manually using a bandsaw. So as well as DXF files, I've now produced PDF files. The difference to the exporting stage is that all the parts are now nested on one large panel. So everything from the same material thickness is on one big panel, and that's inside a bounding box which is dimensioned down in the bottom corner. So the idea is that you can pull this into your software, whatever software you're using, and if you select the whole thing, you can scale this box to make sure that everything is correctly proportioned. All you need to do is make sure you have everything selected and then type in the dimensions of the bounding box as they're written in the bottom corner. You know that everything is then spot on for scale. Once you've confirmed that the scale's right, you can then take your individual parts and drag and drop them to whatever size paper or wood stock you might be using. So the PDF files can be taken to a local print shop and printed on whatever size paper they're able to work with to give you full-size templates for all the parts. The only alteration that I recommend doing if you're cutting these parts manually as opposed to CNC is that you just scribe a straight line through the knuckle joint. You don't have to actually draw this, you can just do it when it comes to cutting the part out, but it will just mean that the frames create a traditional butt jointed system, typical of that you would see with pretty much any other plan set. Because this knuckle joint will be quite difficult to manually cut, it doesn't really need to be done if you're working in that way. So the same goes for the DXF files. They're also exported in one large panel, which you can pull into whatever software you want to work with. And all you need to do is just check your dimensions for the size of the bounding box to make sure that it's imported correctly. And from there on, you can transfer parts to whatever size wood stock you might be using. All of the plan sets include step files as well now, which means that the whole assembly can be brought into most CAD packages and broken down into its various different elements, so you can see how the assembly works, how all the alignment jigs go together, and it just gives a bit more versatile use, again, for whatever kind of package you might like to use. Frame construction boards are used, which you can see in some of my other videos where I built the Rocket Mark II boat building kit. So all of the plan sets are going to follow this same procedure. No matter what the boat design is, they're all going to utilise this same system. So the new designs then. I've now commissioned several new boat designs through Michelle Berrier, and we're planning to work together towards producing a complete catalogue of new boats designed from the ground up. All of these boats will adopt the same kitting process that I've shown in my other designs. So the first boat we've been working on is Temptress. This is a 24-foot inboard runabout. The boat's got a spacious cockpit that can comfortably seat 6 people. We've currently designed a couple of different interior layout options, and this boat very much can be a blank canvas for much further customizations. Alongside the boat, Michelle has designed a hardware pack that plans will also be available for. This will include casting patterns and manufacturing instructions for all the custom parts. I'll do a separate video a bit further down the line where we'll look at Temptress in more detail, and we'll cover everything that's included within the plan sets. We're currently hoping to have this boat ready to launch around about January 2022. Following on from that, we'll be launching a design called Waterman. This is a design for a simple 19-foot fishing skiff with a small forward cabin. The majority of the boat is set up for plywood construction, which will make a nice simple little build and deliver quite a practical boat. This boat is set up for powering with a 25 horsepower outboard. Next, after Waterman, we're going to be releasing Eloise. Eloise is a 17.5-foot open centre console river launch. This boat has been designed primarily to be powered as an electric river cruiser. We've set up the boat to run on a Fisher Panda 7.5 kilowatt pod drive system. However, we've also accommodated the use of a diesel inboard engine. This can be positioned within the centre console and the boat can then be shaft driven. Finally, the current design that Michelle is working on is a slipper launch. This will be a 25-foot boat designed for cold moulded construction. We've accounted for a wide range of powering options with this boat. So she can be driven via a shaft, inboard motor, utilising either diesel or electric power. She can also be driven and steered by a rear-mounted pod motor. We've allowed for the installation of a bow thruster. If you used a bow thruster in conjunction with a steered pod motor, you'd have incredible manoeuvrability with this boat, and you'd pretty much be able to drive it sideways into the dock, which would be really nice and look quite impressive as well. So there we have a brief look at the new designs that we've been working on. Please let me know in the comments below what you think to those, and if you've got any suggestions for other designs that you might like to see done or requests, let us know on that front and we'll see if we can make it happen. So hope you found the video interesting, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.